So for today's online class, we're going to be doing laws of indices. Now, an index number is simply a number or an expression that has a power. So if I should have something like a raised to power x, this can be said to be in index form, where a here is the base and x here is the index. Now we have the laws of indices, and the first one is multiplication law. Now, multiplication law simply states that a raised to power x multiplied by a raised to power y is equal to a raised to power x y. Now, for this multiplication law to work, you have to make sure that the base numbers are the same. If you look here, you see that we have a here and we have a here. So as long as the base numbers are the same, even if the indexes or indices are different, it can work. Now, the second one we have is division law. Division law simply states that a raised to power x divided by a raised to power y is equal to a raised to power x minus y, as long as our a is not equal to 0. So once what you have here is a number greater than 0 or less than 0, you can make use of this division law. Now, the next one that we have is the identity law. The identity law states that a raised to power 0 is equal to 1. So this simply states that any number whatsoever, no matter how large, no matter how small, as long as it is raised to power 0, it is equal to 1. Now, the next one that we have is the negative index law. Negative index law simply states that a raised to power minus x is equal to 1 over a raised to power x. So it is simply saying that when you have a number raised to the power of a negative index, you can just bring it as a base in division form. Now, the next one that we have is fractional index law. Fractional index law. Now, fractional index law simply states that a raised to power b divided by c is the same thing as c root a raised to power b. So when you have something like this, all you have to find is the root, the c root of a, and then you raise it to the power of b. Now, the next one is multiple index law. Now, multiple index law simply states that a raised to power b or raised to power c is equal to a raised to power bc. So when a number has two powers, you simply multiply those two powers and then raise that number to it. So the next law of indices we have is the negative fractional index law. Now, this negative fractional index law is simply a combination of the negative index law and the fractional index law. So this law, let me write it down, negative index law, negative fractional index law. So what this law is simply stating is that a raised to power minus b over c is equal to 1 over c root of a raised to power b. So if you look at this is simply a combination of the negative index law and the fractional index law. Now I'm going to be solving examples using all these laws of indices, or maybe a combination of more than one law of indices, in our subsequent video. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please make sure to like, share and subscribe.